Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McKola, and today you're with me in my studio because I'm not with the lads. I am at home, but you're still getting your transfer live fix. It's just me and you lot today. I ain't got Joe here messing around or Jay with his shiny head taking all of the camera. It's just me and you. So get set for loads of transfer news. We've got everything to get stuck into today. Now, I am running the mixer on my own, so if I get a little bit lost with some graphics along the way, it's fine. You know what's going on. We'll pretend it's Adam McKola TV over here. So get stuck in as well in the comments. Let me know your thoughts via super chats, via comments, all that good stuff. Let us know if you're subscribed as well, because I know from looking at some of the statistics here that you lot, some of you lot, ain't subscribed, and you watch all of our videos, but there's a percentage of you that ain't subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Get hitting that subscribe button right about now. Like the video, comment, and of course share. I can see Toby Gosling, Ross Murphy, Mike in the comments, Inez, Santanach, Risak, AJ, Mike, another Mike, Simon Dawson's in the house, Akila, Yomi as well. We got Vincent. So we got loads of you guys in there. If I miss your comments, I do apologise. I'll try and get to as many as possible. And of course, because this is your show, do you know what I mean? So we want to keep you lot involved. Now, Just Know says, Varane, hours away. We ain't even got Sancho official yet. But yes, we are hearing Manchester United could be hours away. Now, by hours, I think these guys mean 24, 48, 72 hours. We know how the media play these things. They want to be able to push a story out, even maybe if the news hasn't actually developed as much as they're saying it has. So they'll keep the story ticking along. But we are hearing that Manchester United are close to getting the deal done for Raphael Varane. He returned to Spain today. I think he returns to full training on Friday, or is scheduled to, or it might be tomorrow. But either way, he's scheduled to return to training this week for Real Madrid. And he has advised Real Madrid via his agents that he will not be accepting any contract offer from them. This is according to the reports. And therefore, he's told them, look, my future lies away from Real Madrid. He doesn't want to disrespect the club. He doesn't want to, upset anybody there, because he's had a great time there. 4 Champions Leagues, 3 league titles, I think it is. He's won a lot of trophies and he's done a lot of big things for this club. So I can understand why he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers on his way out. But he has advised them that he wants to join Manchester United and he wants to leave. And he's also, via his agent, told United, again, this is according to reports, that the offer will be accepted as soon as you lot get a fee agreed with Real Madrid. Now, it's believed to be 12 million euros, 12 million pounds a year for Raphael Varane. Now, that works out, if I do my mathematics, my quick maths, to around $1 million a month, 250,000 a week. Now, that's a handsome wage packet. But in football, we know that's kind of a standard wage packet as well for a player of the likes of Raphael Varane. I think he was on something like 125 grand a week at Real Madrid, which they've got their money's worth, if you're asking me. When you look at some of the contracts that United have handed out, I think Ashley Young was on that kind of money. I think Phil Jones is on that kind of money at Manchester United. So when you think of the money he was getting from Real Madrid, you can understand why he was demanding more. And he was demanding a similar wage to David Alaba, which is believed to be around 11 million euros a year. United went ahead of that, 12.5 million, 12 million euros a year for Raphael Varane on a 5-year deal. We're getting a player at 28 years old, if the move is completed, that is heading into his prime years. And that's absolutely fantastic. And today we hear from AS in Spain that Manchester United will offer, in their first official bid, 45 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons. There is an agreement between MUFC and Varane, and the deal will be closed in the next few days, around at 50 million euros. So Real Madrid wants 70 million. United are offering 45 plus add-ons. Now, this is going to end up somewhere in between there. And I'm not going to lie, even if we went up to 60 million euros for Raphael Varane, for me, that's a bargain. How much is 60 million euros in GBP? 52 million pounds? 51.8 million pounds? again, a bargain for a player at the quality of Raphael Varane and what he will bring to our defence as well. If you're adding Harry Maguire alongside, Raphael Varane, Luke Shaw, who's really come of age in the last year, had a fantastic Euros. Now, we have heard news today that he might have a broken rib or broken ribs. And obviously, United wanted to check it out. But obviously, he was also allowed to have a holiday, which he's taken. So United will be checking that out. Now, you'd assume or you'd guess that if it was really bad, he probably would have wanted to get it checked out before he did go on holiday. So you're looking at that defence. Luke Shaw, they're going to need to make a 99 card for him at this rate. Raphael Varane, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. And we're also hearing talk about Kieran Trippier potentially coming in and challenging Aaron Wan-Bissaka for that spot. So when you're looking at all these things, it's pointing to United having a much stronger defensive unit in the next season. And I really can't wait. And you look at the time as well. It's the 20th of July today. Let's say we get this done by the end of the week. We're getting the business done. And we haven't even had Jadon Sancho confirmed yet. Now, we know he's done his medical. We're just waiting for the announcement with that from Manchester United. So that's a matter of time. Raphael Varane, on the other hand, while they're saying that's a matter of time, we still have to get the fee agreed with Real Madrid. But all the talk at the moment is really, really positive in regards to Raphael Varane and his future being at Manchester United. And I think that's something that we can all be excited about. I know there's some naysayers. I know there's some people that feel like it's probably not going to happen and all that. And I get it. And there's still that chance. But if we get Raphael Varane, and it's looking likely, it's such a good signing. We hear as well from AS that Raphael Varane has felt pushed away from Real Madrid, and he's felt that he's been forced to leave Real Madrid. Selling him is now a necessity due to the financial reasons of, obviously letting the player go on a free when you can get a transfer fee for him. And obviously what they're saying is Madrid wants 70 million, but they're going to get around 50 million euros for him in the next couple of days. And it's now a matter of hours, we're hearing. I'm just reading an article from Stretford News, which is they've taken the reports that's knocking about, and they've gone, Real Madrid have seemingly failed to convince Raphael Varane to extend his 10-year stay at the club, and an exit this summer seems inevitable. The defender has long been linked with a move to Man United, but it looks like it's finally materialising this year. He's still on vacation, but he's set to join back up with Real Madrid for training this week. As we've heard as well, I'm not reading from the article now, but as we've heard as well, his agents have advised Real Madrid that he wants to leave. And back to the article, it says, and according to AS, via Sport Witness, a transfer for Raphael Varane is almost done and will be closed at approximately 55 million euros, with a transfer now only a matter of hours away. Furthermore, the Spanish publication claims that Varane's representatives signalled that a new deal was not off the table up until just a few days ago, when they advised Real Madrid that they didn't want to sign a new deal at the club. Optimism of a deal being concluded shortly is shared between the English and the Spanish media, and should an agreement be reached, Solskjaer will be desperate to have his shiny new toy ready for the Premier League curtain raiser on August the 14th. And it's also great to hear as well Raphael Varane's willingness to join up with Manchester United and be a part of that pre-season and get ready for the new season, because that's a player that's hungry to play football. He's just not here to get a new contract and to get, just for the experience. He wants to get stuck in, get fit and get playing. And he probably feels like he's got a point to prove after the Euros as well. We also heard earlier on in the day that United, from various other people in Spain, that United were offering 45 million. So as we're hearing, these reports are consistent. I'm not going to bore you too much with them now, but it looks like we're edging closer to a deal for Raphael Varane. Get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing. We've got loads of you in the house at the minute. What are we saying here? SRJ's in the house. Thank you for joining us. Najibu's in the house as well. Vincent. Yes, this is a Lakers jersey for those arguing in the comments about it. I'm not going to talk about the Premier League player being arrested stuff. I can't be asked to get stuck into that. That is a tightrope, talking about allegedlys and all this, that. And I don't think the topic's really one that I want to be discussing. Neo Zach says we need him. yes, it'd be good to get him right now. Najibu's watching from Uganda. Thank you. Let us know where you're watching from, guys. Get your comments in there right now. So the Varane deal is hours away, but let's see what other stories I've got for you up my sleeve right here. Let's have a look. Which one have we got here? There's a few. Let me have a... Right, see. This is what I don't have when I've got Cam or Callum. They're changing the graphics for me. We are hearing Trippier is getting closer to a move, and we're hearing, of course, that Atletico Madrid do have replacements in mind for Kieran Trippier. And those replacements are Di Lorenzo and Nelson Semedo, which kind of suggests that Kieran Trippier is leaving Atletico Madrid. But you'd also think that clubs have to be sensible and kind of line up these replacements as well. But earlier on in the day, we heard reports in English press that there had been glowing endorsements for Trippier, who had asked the Manchester United players in the England camp, I think in March in the international break, whether the United move would be a good one and what those players thought about him potentially joining the club. And they all gave him glowing endorsements of a move to Manchester United. So obviously we're hearing more about this Kieran Trippier one. And for me, this just feels like one that may drag on a little bit, because I can imagine United not having this as a priority, which I get because you've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka there. If you go into the season with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it's not a problem. Obviously, getting backup, getting a rotation, getting someone that can challenge him for his spot is something that we want. But we are hearing, that the move is looking closer. But I think this one will go close to the end of the window, or it will be after the season started. Because let's say United have got the Sancho deal done now. We're going to announce that hopefully soon. Raphael Varane, let's say that one's done in the next 7 to 10 days. United would then probably look at this midfield situation, which we'll talk about later. What's going to happen with Paul Pogba? What's going to happen with Donny van der Beek? What's going to happen with Matic? Is he going to leave? Could we be on the market for more than one midfielder? We're hearing talk about Eduardo Camavinga. We're hearing talk about Declan Rice, although he looks like he's set now to stay at West Ham. And obviously we heard from the MEN that Eduardo Camavinga was of interest, but reports of an imminent deal were inaccurate, which I can understand because he has shown intentions to go elsewhere. So Trippier looks like one that's going to happen, but I think this one could be something which goes further into the window, as it doesn't look like a priority for Manchester United to be getting sorted in the right here, right now, especially when you consider the Varane deals and that deal for a midfielder as well. And you know what? I don't mind United doing that, because Kieran Trippier is someone that you'd imagine he's keeping himself fit. He will keep himself fit. He'll come into the club. I don't think it'd take long for him to settle. He's played in the Premier League before. So out of all the signings, he's probably the one that you could wait to do towards the back end of the deal and try of the window and try and get a better deal out of Atletico Madrid as well. Andreas Pereira looks like he could be on the move. Manchester United are obviously allowing him to leave, which isn't a surprise to anybody. But the problem is, it looks like because he signed that deal, his wages may be something, again, this is a result of United giving silly deals out. But, you could look at this and think he might end up going out on loan again. That one might be the most sensible thing, or the most expectant thing, is he goes out on loan again. Because you can't imagine someone will give us what we want for him. But apparently Andreas Pereira is free to leave. United should an acceptable offer come in for him. Now, what is an acceptable offer for Andreas Pereira? I really, really don't know. Now, James says Jess is worth at least 35 to 40 million. I agree with that. In regards to Trippier, Mike says he's 30 though. I don't think that's an issue when you've got younger players around him, and you've obviously got Aaron Wan-Bissaka there, who's your long-term option. Plus, I don't think 30, he'll still give you a good 3-4 years, I think, Kieran Trippier would. Wayne also points to the fact that it allows us to play a 3 at the back as an option with AWB right of the 3, which I absolutely totally agree with as well. Andrew says Lingard in or out. We need to cash in on him. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Lingard be a part of our squad, but I'm also of the belief that Jesse Lingard should be starting for a team somewhere. You know, he's good enough to be doing that. He showed that at West Ham with the numbers that he put up. You know, when you've got a confident, happy Jesse Lingard, he will deliver for you. Now, I think he could be a great option for Manchester United. And from a selfish fan's perspective, I look at it and think, keep him in the squad. What an option to have. But also, he's of an age now where he wants to play week in, week out. He's good enough to play week in, week out. Maybe not for Man United, you know, when you've got the likes of Bruno and Pogba and all those guys in the team. But Jesse Lingard's still a quality player. Now, reports are he's set to have a role at United. He's still in my plan, said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I expect him at Man United at the start of the season. And maybe this is one of those that will drag on a little bit. I can imagine Jesse Lingard will weigh up his options. You know, probably wait until United have done the bulk of their business. Probably look around and see, is Donny van der Beek still here? Who, you know, have Ahmad and Tahiv Chang. Oh, well, Tahiv Chang is going out alone. Facundo Pellistri and all these lads, have they gone out on loan? Daniel James, is he going to leave? Like, because a spot could open up in the squad where you look at it and think, actually, Jesse might get 30, 40 games now in this season, not starts, but valuable appearances. So I imagine he'll want to wait further in the window. There'll always be teams interested in him. And if not, Jesse's perspective, he could look at it and think, well, I have a year at United, the club that I support. This is a fantastic team. Maybe we'll win something this year. I could then open myself up to potentially a nice new deal at Man United if I perform well. Or I could leave on a free, which would also be lucrative for him because he'd get a big signing on fee. So, you know, he's also in a good position as well, I guess. And I'm not surprised to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he will be like some of us fans who think, well, actually, he's a good squad player to have in the team, is Jesse Lingard. So I'm not surprised to see that one may drag on a little bit, for sure. Now, let's have a look if there's any more news popping off at the minute. There's no more news no news coming out as we speak. But of course, we have that Raphael Varane stuff, which is bubbling away in the background. And we obviously want to see that one happen. And it's just good to see a positive window so far. Now, it could take a turn for the worse, but Sancho's medical's done. You know, we just got to wait for the T's to be crossed and the I's to be dotted on that one. Varane, we're just waiting for the deal to be agreed with Real Madrid and he'll be our player. And obviously there's talk about Eduardo Camavinga. There's talk about all these other guys as well. And it could be a really, really good window for Manchester United. But there's still a long way to go. So let's finish this up with maybe a little bit of a Q&A or something like that. Get some of your questions in. We'll have another couple of minutes and then we'll wrap this up. But that is today's news. We got Laurent watching from South Africa. How in the world is Jesse Lingard behind Dan James in the pecking order, says Nathan. Jesse deserves better than the bench, says Taisha. Justin with the super chat says, how many ins and outs do you expect before the transfer window shuts? I expect 4 players to be signed, which is one more than I expected about 2 months ago. And I expect, I think you're looking at, so you got who's at risk? Andreas Pereira, Jesse Lingard, Diogo Dalot, Phil Jones, Daniel James. There'll be some other players that I've missed. Did I say Matic? You could see 4 players potentially leave United on loan or permanently this transfer window. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing. We need a striker as a backup for Cavani who can guarantee goals. We can't leave that to Greenwood. Plan to come to Mumbai soon. Meet up needed, says Rohan. Doesn't look like anyone's getting out of the UK anytime. Well, you can, but it doesn't look like it's going to be lasting long. Give us a percentage that I reckon the Varane deal is at, says Jack. Now, remember, I'm not in the know. But I'd feel like this is 75% done. That's what I feel like. Justin says the only man we acknowledge is Fabrizio Romano. There are a few others out there who are fairly reliable as well, but yeah, he is reliable, isn't he? Mike hopes we sell a lot of players this window. We need a midfielder, and I totally agree with that. We definitely need a midfielder as much as we need a centre back and a right winger. Glad to see we've got a right winger sorted. Glad to see we're getting a centre back sorted. Hopefully that midfielder is next. And of course, guys, make sure you're keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock by hitting that subscribe button. Like this video as well. Can we hit 500 likes right now while we're on the live? Get hitting that like button. Get subscribing to Stretford Paddock as well, because we'll have loads more content coming up for you guys through the week. And of course, as soon as Sancho is confirmed, as soon as we get a bid accepted for Raphael Varane or a bid put in or whatever, we will be live again. So you want to be subscribed, you want to have your notifications on, and you want to be keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock. For now though, I'm going to get out of here because I'm absolutely sweating. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in a bit. Peace.